how many pictures should you take of books when you're listing them on eBay? And my answer is enough to sell the book. Now, it could be a book. We're going to talk about books today, but it could be a book, it could be a CD, it could be a DVD, it could be a vinyl record. They're all different, but the bottom line is you want to take as many photos as it will take to sell the book. And what does that mean? Essentially, take a lot of photos. Now you can take 24, you can upload 24 per listing. Do I take 24? Rarely. I usually take about, for a book, so depending on whether it's a paperback or a hardcover, especially with a dust jacket, just a paperback, maybe, let's see, front, here I'll tell you, front, spine, back, and I also take a picture like this of the page edges, as well as this way of the page edges. And then I will take pictures inside of the title page. So, around 8 to 10 on average. Now, a hardcover with a dust jacket, I'm going to take an additional 6, 7, 8 photos. So yeah, anywhere between 8 to maybe 15 to even 18 photos, depending on the book. So it always depends on the book. Paperback versus hardcover without a dust jacket versus hardcover with a dust jacket. But the bottom line is you want to put as many photos as you can because it's eBay, not Amazon. On Amazon, people just look for the price, and then even less people look for the condition, and then they buy it. And even less people will actually look to see if there's any photos, because there's rarely photos, even though you can, even though you can upload photos to your Amazon listing, whether it's FBA or merchant fulfilled, but very, very few people do that because it's just price, click, buy. That's about it. But on eBay, buyers want to see, they want to know the condition, they want to see photos of the item. Now, many of you might think or say, oh, well, but there's people that are using stock photos, and they are. And guess what? I'm going to, on these more collectible, more rare books, higher priced books, I'm going to get the sale over a lot of those people unless they have the price really low. And I wouldn't list one of these books if there was a stock image from a mega seller, usually is what it is, a big seller that's selling hundreds if not thousands of items a day. They'll use a stock photo often, almost all the time. But I wouldn't list that particular book. Like in these particular books, if there was, if it was going for $5 or $10, I'm not going to do that. There are some circumstances where I might, but overall, I will likely not do that. So if let's say example, like this book, I'm going to be listing for $100. If there's a stock image of another listing, I'm going to beat out that listing most of the time, because the person that's looking for this particular book, first of all, there's a small amount of people looking for it, number one. And number two, the people that are actually looking for it are going to want to see the condition, and they're going to want to see photos. When they see a stock image, I would be pissed or I guess more annoyed than anything if I'm looking for a particular type of book. I'm looking for Oracles and Demons of Tibet, the cult and iconography of the Tibetan protective deities. Very, very specific, very rare book. If I'm looking for this book, I want to see, number one, do I want the dust jacket? I probably do. I saw some copies that did not have a dust jacket, and you can sell books like that without the dust jacket if it's sought after. But with the dust jacket, it's more valuable and harder to find. And then I'm going to want to see the condition. So as an example, what I do with hardcover books that have a dust jacket is I take the photo of the dust jacket with the book in it, the front cover like this, the spine, and then the back. And then also, so I already told you I take the page edges. Whether or not it's dirty or stained or marked up or completely clean, I still do it so people can see. And then what I'll do is I'll actually take the whole dust jacket off, and I'll take a picture of the dust jacket like that. I usually won't do it like this unless there's some damage, but I will always do this so they can see and see if there's any damage to the inner flaps, any markings, anything like that. And also I will take a picture like this with it with the front flap off, or the front cover off, part of the dust jacket, so people can see that it's the right book, and see the condition of the actual boards of the actual book, not just the dust jacket. So the same goes for this one. That's a much older book. I actually taped the spine together because it ripped apart. I did the same thing where I don't want to take it off now because it's too fragile, but I took off the dust jacket, took a picture of it, the inside and the outside, so people could clearly see all the damage, and also how intact most of it is. There's some of it missing, but most of it is intact. And also of the actual book, the actual front board or cover of the book, not just the dust jacket. So, you know, the same goes, these don't have dust jackets, but the same goes for these in the sense of as many photos as I feel I need to take to sell the book that shows it off the most. So I will take the title page, the publishing information, the copyright page, and then this one. Oh, this one does. If it has a contents page here and here, I'll take a picture of both of them because that's a way that someone can see what the contents are if they don't know. And then, as you saw, as I flipped through this one, it's got some photos. So I always take photos of the photos or images, or if they're drawings or illustrations, especially of those. Now, you don't have to take, or I don't take a photo of every single image or photo or illustration or drawing in there, just of a good amount of them. If there's only a handful, then you can just take all of them. But if there's like 20 of them, you don't need to do that. You can take photos of 5 of them, some cool ones, just so people get an idea of what's in there. Now, if you're transitioning, or if you're looking to get into eBay a little bit for books, or you're looking to get into eBay entirely, this is how I recommend doing it. It's not Amazon. Amazon is just scan the barcode, put the ISBN in, list it, you know, put your condition in there, put your price, your SKU, you're done. Whereas eBay, you really need to upload the photos. But this is why I say over and over again that if you're going to sell books on eBay, by and large, where the money is more rare, collectible, funky type of stuff, very drilled down into niches. Like I said, oracles and demons of Tibet, very specific. The Tibetan protective deities. So that's there's not going to be very many other books, if there are any other books about oracles and demons of Tibet. Let me know if there's others. There might be a handful, but it's not like it's Tibet and that's the name of the book. Or I don't know, Tibetan spiritual life. That one sounds kind of interesting too, but this one is very specific. So you get like this one here, laughing, screaming, modern Hollywood horror and comedy. That's more specific. It's not just Hollywood movies, or it's comedy and horror. You could say is broad, but the cover I love, that draws my attention, from Carrie. And it turns out that this one is fairly rare. So yeah, and here's other examples, ones that I listed. The paperbacks are easier. 5 photos of the outside. Then I take the copyright page, I take the title page, and then if there's contents, I take that. But like ones like this, they don't have any images. There's nothing really worth taking inside of the book. And that's it. Of course, if it's a first edition, you know, a lot of books will sometimes just be first editions. It's not really what people care about that much. It's just that they want that particular book, and it's hard to find. So always have the copyright page, but if it is a rare first edition, first printing, that type of stuff, take a close-up of that. Of course, if it's signed or inscribed, you should take a picture of that as well. Basically, the more photos, the better. One of the reasons I didn't want to do eBay when I was only doing Amazon, I always thought it was kind of crazy, is one of the reasons was because of taking photos, and I didn't want to do it, and it felt like it was too much work. But once you get into it, you can photograph all of these books pretty quickly. But of course, it takes longer. You know, that's why I'm listing these for more. This one's going for 30, 40, 40, 50, this one, 100, this one, 40, and 30. So nothing below $30. If it's a $10 book, I don't think you should waste your time unless that thing's going to sell the day you list it. If you can sell all those kind of books daily and you can sell 100 of those a day, great. Or, 10 or 20 a day, and you're selling them for $10, but they're selling immediately, and that adds up. You don't have to take too many photos. People, are buying them like crazy. So that might be a book you put on Amazon. I don't know. But when it comes to eBay, I really want to sell higher profit books. And for me, it's $30 and up. I'll sell a $20 book on eBay if I feel that it's going to move pretty quickly. And for me, that's within about 3 months. Obviously, within a day or two or a week or a month is great. But even a $20 book within 3 months is fine. I'm still going to make around $15, which is nice. But I like to do it about 30 and up. You can just kind of set your parameters and figure out what works for you. So how many pictures to take on eBay of a book? Well, I would take a lot. Not an obscene amount, but enough to where everything is shown, and especially show the blemishes. If there's a stain, if there's a tear, if there's writing, if there's a lot of writing or underlining or highlighting on the pages, take a picture of a couple of pages and put it in your condition notes or in the description that a good amount of pages have that type of markings or highlighting or whatever. So just always be transparent. Don't hide anything. You don't want someone to get the item and go, you didn't tell me about this giant stain on the title page, or that there was a page missing, or that the one page was ripped. And sometimes you miss it. That's fine. It's a mistake. But if you see something, then definitely photograph it and let people know. All right, guys. Hope this helps. See you in the next video. Take care.